Well, it's a gorgeous day today. Carolyn's decided that she's not going to need to put the plants inside the house underneath the grow lights anymore for this year. She thinks that they should be okay in the greenhouse. So that means that she wants to start incubating chicken eggs. I just showed you, well, yesterday I showed you, it'd be 2 days for you. Just got a new incubator, and so it can hold 22 eggs. Now our chickens are producing anywhere from 7 to 10 eggs a day. One day they'll produce 10 eggs, next day they'll produce 10 eggs, the next day they'll produce 7, so it's kind of all over the place. Yesterday we got 7 eggs from them. The 2 days prior we got 10 eggs from them. So we're going to start collecting chicken eggs, and however long that takes. Could take 2 days, it could take several days. Now eggs can just sit out for 7 days before they start getting incubated. That's how hatcheries do it. They'll just collect eggs, and then when they have enough they'll sell them to you or mail them to you. I know you can get some mailed. So we'll just collect them for the next 3 days, set them aside, and then when we have 22 eggs, we got to start the incubator and let it run for 4 hours before we put the eggs into it. That way all the temperatures and the humidity and everything gets adjusted correctly. So we'll run that for 4 hours, we'll put the eggs in it. So within 3 days, we're gonna start incubating eggs. The chicks we have in the house should be able to come out in 3 weeks. I decided to go ahead and buy another one of those little houses like we had last year. We got that other one, and it's being used by the chicks. They really like it. I didn't want to just put it all back together, take it away from them. But you can see this piece here, that's part of the old house. So I was going to take all that out and reassemble it, but decided, nah, let's go ahead and buy another one. And a piece of it we're using in the house for the little chicks. So I assembled that today. This one's a little smaller than the one we had last year, but I went ahead and assembled it. And then we'll bring the little chicks that we got in the house out here in 3 weeks. There'll be plenty of room for them. And then we'll incubate those 22 chickens. And when it's warm enough for them to come out, and then we'll put those in that coroplast building that I got for them. This thing here, I really need to cut the grass, but boy, I'm telling you, everything's just so wet. Had to build that little house today, that's why I didn't cut it today. So if it stays dry, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here in the next, well, day or two. Just take my time with it because it's thick. Well, the inevitable finally happened. That old generator finally broke. it's what, 4 years old, or 3 or 4 years old now? And it finally broke, so I've been taking it apart. It's not a serious problem. The rope broke, and so the winder has loosened up its spring. So I got to get that out of there. The problem is all this electronic stuff is in the way. I'm going to take it apart a little piece at a time and take pictures of it as I'm taking it apart, because there's a lot in the way. This piece I don't want to take out, so I'm just moving it to the side. The gas filter I had to take loose. I'll have to take the other side off. And whatever this is, it's some sort of electronic piece, I'm sure, for the inverter. And once I get that out, then I should be able to take the winder up and rewind it, hopefully. It didn't break a long piece, it was just a little short piece. So that means I'm going to start using the new generator. It's got a lot of straw in it. Had it stored in the camper underneath all the straw. And for now, I'm going to just use gasoline. This is a dual fuel, gasoline and propane. For now, I'm going to use gasoline because gas station's so close. Told you the other day we got propane. Right now, the gas price is $3.80. I don't know, $3.89 a gallon, something like that. And I did the math. Propane cost, gasoline costs are exactly the same. So it doesn't matter which one I use. If gas prices go up any higher, propane cost stays the same, then I'll start using propane. The only reason, like I said, I'm going to use the gas is because the gas station is just up the road. Propane is about 30 miles away. Gasoline prices go up too much further, I'll just start using propane. I got 6 cans, well, I actually got 9 cans. I want to get one more. Well, what it is 3 of them are actually attached to appliances right now. So the 6th is the number I have that I can empty out and take over to town. We go to town about once a month to go grocery shopping as it is. If I run out of propane before we go to town, I'll buy another tank. Those are $60. It's got propane in it, but $60 for the tank and propane. from Dollar General. I'll go ahead and buy another one until it's time to go to town. I'm assuming I got enough. If not, I'll just get them until we do go to town, and then I'll know that's what the number is. So if I need 10 tanks to take to town or whatever it is. I'm glad I got the generator, the backup generator. Now, if I can fix this generator, which I think I can without buying parts, then we're gonna use this generator as a backup. We'll just set it aside because Carolyn was thinking about this and I didn't really think about it. I just assumed that I'd run this old one until it died and not worry about it anymore. She said, well, if you can fix it, set it to the side, and if you need to do an oil change on the new one or something's wrong with it, we can use the old one until we get the oil changed on it or whatever it is that needs to be fixed on it. She said also, if we brought up this one, the old one, up closer to the house, I wouldn't have to walk back and forth all the time to run the well. We could use the old one to run the well, and that would keep the new one from having to run so hard with that well pump. That well pump takes a lot of energy. Also, she said she'd like to have it up there. That way, if she wants to run the vacuum, she can run the vacuum on solar panels, but she can only do it on days like this, where it's really sunny. But if she wants to run the vacuum on a cloudy day, she really can't do it. So she said it'd be nice to have the generator up at the house. She can run an extension cord out to the generator, start the generator up, run the vacuum, or whatever she wants to do. So I thought that was a good idea. I never considered using the old one as a backup. Now, if I got to buy parts, I'm not going to buy any parts. And the reason is I don't know how much life is left in this old generator. It's on its last leg. It's smoking all the time now. It uses a lot of oil. I don't think it would be worth buying parts. Let's say I spend 25 or 30 bucks to fix this thing, and then tomorrow something else breaks on it. It's just not, it wouldn't be worth it to just keep putting parts onto it. Just go ahead and start using the new generator. I don't know, I might buy another backup generator maybe next year, like this new one, another propane one, if I can find it on sale. This one I found on sale. It was like $70 cheaper, $50 cheaper, something like that, than what it is now. I bought it, and then a week later they raised the prices on them. So I don't know if I bought it on sale or if they just raised the prices because inflation has went through the roof here lately. Regardless, if they go back down on price, I might pick another one up, just store it. I know a lot of people have said I shouldn't do that, that I need to run it, and if something goes wrong, then I can fix it. But you got to think about how people regularly use the generators. I obviously use generators all the time, but in real life, a person may only use a generator once or twice a year. Maybe if they go camping, you know, they'll buy one for Christmas, they won't use it until they go camping. Or in an emergency, they buy one, and then when the hurricane hits and then knocks all the power out, they'll start it up. I don't know, I'll run it like I did this one. I ran it for like 2 or 3 hours, and then I stored it. Just make sure it started and all this the stuff that needed to happen. It has made me feel a lot better knowing that I had a backup one. Obviously, this old one, it was really starting to make me nervous. And the reason I bought the new one was one day the old one died on me, and it was really difficult to get it started back up. I just kept pulling, went in the house, came back outside, pulled some more. And that's when I realized that I needed a new one, because there have been several days that I hadn't filled the water tank and it was like half empty. I couldn't have gotten that one started, and I'd had to order a new one. Let's say it took another 2 or 3 days to get a new one out to me. We may have been out of water before I got the new one. So I just wanted to have a backup. Now in the summertime, it's not near as critical. I can get water on sunny days off the solar panels. But in the wintertime, when there's hardly any sunlight as it is, hey, we don't have any water if I can't get this thing started. So things are starting to come together. Life is getting pretty smooth. We're really getting things sorted out. I've said this several times. The off-grid lifestyle is really started to, things aren't that hard anymore. We have all the electric we need now. The house is working. The heater, the wood stove is working. We got the buddy heater now in case things go wrong. We got enough propane tanks to have a good supply of propane. And nothing seems to be a problem anymore. The first year that we moved into the house, the water froze up. Things were going to go wrong. You know, you're trying to build all these new systems, put them all in place. Well, it froze up. This year we didn't have a problem. I got all those bugs worked out. So finally all the bugs are working out. So this year we'll get a big garden. That was one of the problems that we had last 2 years. First year was here, it was pretty tough. We got here late in the season and she wasn't able to grow her plants as well as she wanted to. And it was pretty skimpy. Well, last year we got everything cleaned up enough that she could do a little raised garden and experiment, see how things were going to work for her. And she had a lot of success last year. Then this last winter, I knocked the rest of these trees down over here. This is on the west side. So now we get a lot of evening time sun. The other side, I've showed you this before, is the east. That's the west. And here's our garden right in the center. Solar panels are getting plenty of light now, right there. The garden's gonna get plenty of light. So now all I need is a day where it doesn't rain and the ground isn't so saturated that I can cut some grass, because this is really starting to get thick. I'll go slow, and it doesn't have to be that pretty. We'll get this knocked down like a brush hog would. The chickens, that's another thing. Last year we had to work so hard to get these chickens raised, and now they just kind of take care of themselves. We got an incubator. The cost is going to come down significantly on chickens this year. Cost on food has come down for us, even though food prices keep going up. We're not spending anything on food. I told you this the other day. Even with all the inflation, we only spent $25 more than normal at the grocery store. We spent $175 and we got a month's worth of food. To us, things seem to be doing exactly the way we expected. As things got worse in the world, things would get better for us. A lot of people say, you know, you need to go get a job, and there's just a lot of those critics out there. I'm not trying to appease the critics right this minute. This is my job. The less money I have to spend in the world, the less money I have to make. Life seems to be just drifting on by. It's pretty nice. So if you can hit this up next box, I'd really appreciate it. Take you over to my other channel. So hope I can inspire you, get all your bugs worked out, so you can live your dream. Thanks for watching.